Okay. Hi, welcome back to another video. My name is Spec, and yeah, long time no see. How many months has it been? Actually, I'll just double check quickly, just to get a gist of it, because I can't remember how many months it's been. But it's been a little bit too long because of the fact that I have been thinking about doing absolutely nothing, and art has been very much so. How can I say, like, very not nothing is happening with my art, and I felt like I just didn't know what I wanted to do. But now I made this video, which I was like, oh yeah, it could work out because of the fact that this video originally, mind you, originally, this video was like 10 minutes long. This was like in Procreate 10 minutes. I've never in my entire life seen a 10-minute long Procreate speed painting video. Just to tell you how much work I was doing for this dumbass thing. But at the same time, I love it. Oh, the last video that I posted was 3 months ago, which, yikes, crazy work. So welcome to this episode. Welcome to this video. I am currently, as of now, been hyper fixated on making a new story called Doghouse, which is just like kind of like this analog horror type of thing that I've been wanting to do. Well, not been wanting, but like the way, okay, but the way like I've been like really writing everything is honest to God beautiful work. Like I'm genuinely impressed. It's like I'm just witnessing it, watching it do its thing, and I'm like not making anything too like serious. I wanted to talk a little bit more about like the process because of the fact that it's very interesting to me since I love the way things are coming out. Considering the fact that the characters are looking the way they need to look, the way the people look like the way I want them to look. Even though the first person, Kamaria, that's his name, the guy with the dreads, I changed his entire outfit. Don't worry, I changed his entire look. He does not look like that now. In the recent design that I did for him, he's based off of, I think, Trevante Rhodes, and then his partner, who is Samson, is based off of Lakeith Steinfeld, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it's those two. Essentially, I just had to I wanted to step back a little bit because with my Camp Magnum stuff, I wanted to step back a little bit on Camp Magnum stuff since I've been on Camp Magnum's dick for the past who knows how many years. But honestly, I'm very proud of like how much work I have done for the Doghouse thing because it's very interesting. Genuinely, like the whole story is just like it's fascinating to me. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna pretend like it's like oh my god, it's like the greatest thing ever, but I did take the time to like think about some things. Like I did this amount of thinking in a few months for Camp Magnum, which took me a few years to figure out. But this one is like there's more coming for it because I just don't want it doesn't feel like it's completed yet. I was like, why is nothing moving for a split second? I'm watching currently, if I time this thing right, I'm drawing a Jack Russell. Nope, German Shepherd. Jesus, not Jack Russell. A German Shepherd, which is basically this whole thing. Okay, wait, let me explain what Doghouse is actually. The thing is that I'm not explaining what it is, and I just feel like you guys will understand what it is, even though it doesn't make sense. So Doghouse is a horror thing that I came up with when our electricity was down. Also, currently, you're going to see this drawing. This drawing of this man changes like 3 times before it actually becomes Aiden. You'll see, it's funny. It's very interesting how I like go back to like an original drawing of Red. No, not Red. This other stone guy, I can't remember his name, but essentially, yeah. You see, like, funny, haha. Anyway, so it came about like when our electricity was down for like 3 weeks. Straight up no electricity. Because our transformer had like bugged out or like something. I can't remember what really was happening. Oh, by the way, it got worse. The transformer blew up. So, but it's fine. We have solar panels, so it's like I'm not out of electricity. It's just that there's not constant hot water, so that's the only issue. But other than that, it's whatever. I don't really care. Well, I do care because I don't want to be using solar the entire time. That shouldn't be the option. We should just have electricity. But essentially, the whole thing came about when I was like walking outside to go feed my dogs. and it was pitch black. Like, not pitch black, I could obviously see a little bit, but it wasn't as light as I wanted it to be. So it was like maybe like 7-ish or like 8 o'clock-ish, where essentially I just couldn't see anything. And I usually put my dog's food nearby their doghouse with the water. So I basically like put water in the center, the dog food on the side, and then I kind of just like bring them to me and tell them to sit down so that I can give them their food. And when that happened, I was walking to the doghouse, and for some odd reason, I felt this like presence just watching me within the doghouse. And I couldn't shake. I genuinely was so fearful. I couldn't like not look at it the entire time, thinking someone was inside that damn doghouse. And I gave the dogs their food and I left quickly because I was like, girl, I need to be out of here. And it's already pitch black. I can't see anything. My flashlight is on fucking something percent and I'm stressing myself out. So then that came about, and I was like, this is actually such a good idea for a horror story, which I want to read like maybe like a passage or two from the original thing, you know? Because, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I ate down with like my writing stuff this time, you know? Because the thing is, with when it came to the writing for Doghouse, it was such a complex but simple thing. But I was like, oh, okay. So I have the Word document written out for me. Essentially, it's like a story about a shapeshifter living in a doghouse. The shifter is slowly killing the herd of sheep as the farmers are trying to figure out what is causing their deaths, but it only happens once every few weeks. And then after that, I just like, I was like, okay, this is a base of whatever I was doing. I have 8 pages with 3,000 words, and this is all just information. I have chapter 1 written out completely. Episode 1, sorry, not chapter 1. Episode 1 completely written out, which, amazing. I love that. But there's so many things I want to go into within this doghouse thing that I was just like, oh, so much work has to be done, and I don't know if I have the skill set necessary yet to complete it alone, because of the fact that it's going to be an episodic thing where we see. Also, look at this. You see that, like, the dog I'm drawing currently, the one just to the side, to the right side of it, you're right. The way you're looking at the screen, you're right. So you see there's like a smiley face in that corner on top, and then go a little bit to the right. That dog's side silhouette is the most beautiful thing I've ever drawn in my entire life, and I was so impressed. But I got better at drawing like animals these days due to the fact I was drawing like this one creature. Can't remember what it was called, but it was for like another story of mine called The Window. I just have too many story ideas and I genuinely don't know what to do with them. But at the same time, we'll get there, honestly. The only issue being is that this one everything would be in 3D. So concepts are really important for me to have. I could add that as well. My dumb brain forgot that I could add other concepts, but I'll figure those out later. For now, they're just not solidified as of yet. Oh, this is, mind you, the thing I'm drawing right now is the shapeshifter, where essentially they kind of just look like human. Wanted to go for like a little bit of a uncanny valley type vibe, but whatever happens happens. So I went for an uncanny type vibe, but at the same time it doesn't feel uncanny enough. But there's like later on in the video there's going to be 10 stages that the shapeshifter goes through, which will make it a little bit more uncanny. For now it just like looks cool. I like the fact that it's very simple, because I was watching the Adventure Time thing of like what is the word I'm looking for? Not encompassing of death, but like how death is represented essentially. So basically death is like represented in Adventure Time specifically, where death is like such a simplistic looking thing, but yet becomes more complicated as it continues going, and how it just like changes essentially. Like you can see kind of some of the inspiration from Adventure Time's death in this drawing in particular, the one I'm currently with the like long arms and stuff. This one is the one that makes sense, But essentially the story was just about how the family is also like living through like a electricity crisis where they don't have electricity, but for a reason. For us, our reason was our transformer. For them, the reason was because they met the shapeshifter, who was a dog, when they found him. I'm gonna say it just to be safe, because of the fact that like it was terrorizing everything. So when they got home from finding the dog, aka the shapeshifter, essentially all electricity was off, and it was like fuck irritating, So we have that whole situation going down, and I was like, oh, Jesus. So many things were going on. But I think I'll read maybe the plot points for episode 1 because it was interesting. Genuinely, I like the way it sounds. If I fuck up a little bit, mind you, English is, you know, I just got here on Earth. Episode 1, which is the sheep problem. I have a what is it? I have a um, script written out for it, perfect, like a proper script. But this is like plot points and like things that I wanted to see, maybe like just to get like an idea of what I wanted to happen, so that you can understand where I'm going with this, but like at the same time not, give too much high expectations. Because if everything needs to be modeled in 3D, it's gonna take a little bit of time. It's not a little bit of time; it's gonna take a long time for me to figure out how to model the shapeshifter in particular. Everything else is honest to God, like the backgrounds and whatnot. I have background experience with modeling since I've been modeling for the past like 2 years/3, considering the fact that this year would be the third year. This year would be making it third year, but last year, like last year and first year, and for like first year, second year, I was modeling stuff. Background stuff is easy. It's character stuff that takes the fucking longest. I don't know why. Oh, this is where it starts becoming like the stage 1, the familiar stuff. It's so cool. Genuinely, I love the way it looked. So episode 1, the sheep problem. We see a dead sheep bleeding on the damp grass. The wool is damp, causing the blood to seep into the white of it, slowly turning it crimson. The blood is still fresh, so it indicates that the kill was recent, but not so recent that the kill took place just in that moment. We get a shot of Kamaria holding a candle. It's illuminating his face a little in a light orange. He's upset. He breathes in sharply. If it's not the electricity, then it's the sheep. For fuck's sakes. The frame pulls back and we see a family of 4. In full frame. 2 fathers and 2 children. It's fine, we'll deal with it tomorrow, Samson. Later today, the city corrects. Later today, I mean. They're all holding a candle holder in hand. Aiden, stay with me. Let's deal with this quickly and we can go to sleep. Aiden sighs. Dad, it's late. Can't we do this tomorrow? He shakes his head. Later today. You both have school tomorrow and your father and I are going to be at work the whole day, and I don't want the neighbors thinking we're killing our sheep. So, please. Sadie, you can go back inside and go sleep. Aiden, you too. I'll help your father outside. The children go back inside and go to sleep. Aiden, you too. Sorry, brain died. The children both adjust their robes and walk back inside. Aiden mouths thank you, and we only see Kamaria and Samson standing outside looking at the sheep. You're too lenient with them, Kamaria says. And you're too harsh on them, Samson says. Samson moves next to Kamaria, and they are both staring at the sheep. They know how to play us. It's not a good look on us, and we're giving them all that they want. All that they want doesn't help. And giving them all that they want doesn't help. Remember last time? Kamaria grabs one of the legs of the sheep and then the other. How can I forget? You remind me time and time again, Samson says. Jesus, that scared me. I'm looking at the script and I'm looking at the video playing just to keep on track with whatever's going on. But yeah, sorry. Kamaria looks at Samson and gestures with his body to help him drag the sheep somewhere. Sorry. He blows out the candles and they're engulfed by darkness. He puts down the candles. He then walks up to the other side of the sheep, grabbing the remaining 2 legs. 1, 2, 3. They both pick up the sheep and slowly make their way to the outhouse. There's a freezer there to put extra meat that they get when they kill animals elsewhere and bring it back home. Where are we gonna put this thing? Freezer, he gasps. You expect me to eat ombil? Oh, sorry, obmil? I forgot I couldn't pronunciate the name quickly. Obmil. Kamaria doesn't say anything and continues walking backwards to the freezer. They reach the outhouse. Down here, Kamaria says, and they drop obmil on the floor. Dust surfacing up and then floating around the 2. Kamaria sighs and then opens the freezer door with a creak. His face is illuminated by a dark blue light. He looks towards Samson and they both lift up obmil, and with a thud, the body hits the base of the freezer. They both look into the freezer and then at each other. I'll try being sterner with them, and I'll try being less so. With that, the freezer closes with a loud thump, and at the end of the episode, credits roll. Mind you, the whole thing being like, this is cute. It's a good base. That's what people have been saying, and especially now, I've realized that as writing, don't write trying to fix your mistakes while writing. Just write whatever the fuck you're writing and get it done. And if you feel like, yeah, no, I don't want to do that one, I also need to do that for episode 2, because episode 2 also I kind of like hated the way episode 2 sounded, but it's because of the fact that I feel like episode 2 needs to do something else, because episode 2 was just going back to the past where they found the dog, which I'm like, too early. I need to draw it out, not too much, but draw it out enough just for like people to be like, okay. But essentially, like episode 1, that was just the base of episode 1. Episode 1, that was literally like the first episode that I just read was like single page. The episode that I rewrote was 4 full pages of just writing, which, wow, genuinely, I was very impressed with the way I was writing things. I honest to God want to read it. If I can find it, then I'll read it. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm not too pressed about it too much, eh? Because it was really good. Like it sounded so delicious when when you're writing something and it just sounds the way you want it to sound. And I was like, yeah, that's it. This is it. This is the way I want it to look, and this is the way I've been wanting it. I'm gonna probably try and read like a specific section of it, but this is the screenplay essentially, where the dialogue between Kamaria and Samson is happening. But I'm gonna go to like here at the end. This is basically the. I know it's an exclusive thing, but at the same time, I feel like I shouldn't be showing y'all. I shouldn't be reading this in general, but I like just giving my full all to something and being like, this is what is really good. I love this so much. Oh my God, I want people to like it as much as I love it, you know? And I don't want to bother most of my friends or my partner with this information, essentially. But I told my partner more about it than anything, but at the same time, it's just like, yeah. And let me, like, here, this is where it is. At the outhouse, but I called it like just the extra room thing. I don't know. They leave the door open, which brightens the room. We can see the dog sitting off screen. Maybe the hind legs or paw could be visible. So essentially, remember how like the dog is essentially the shapeshifter throughout the entire thing. The thing is that whoever watches this, not this video in particular, but the videos that would be released, would not know anything about anything unless they came to my channel and watched it there and like saw the behind the scenes situation of me explaining what everything is and what the dog is. So it's like a psychological thing where a lot was going on. Trust, it's just so deep. I love how I say it's so deep, I'm just like, am I giving myself too much credit? But at the same time, I took a lot of effort into this. So anyway, they both pick up Obmil and put his body into the freezer. Samson looks into the freezer, seeing that the sheep has been tied up and looks like the sheep from one religious drawing he saw when he was a child. He shakes his head and steps back a bit, ignoring what he saw. Kamaria looks inside of the freezer, seeing a bundle of beer cans around the sheep's body. He looks at Samson, seeing that he's looking outside. He just chooses to ignore it. He then closes the door. He stops. As he's closing the door, he stops. Sorry, I didn't have to say that word. And then, closing the door, he stops. Escher, buddy, I didn't even see you. Come in. Escher, the rather large dog, walks out of the room with its tongue out. Samson and Kamaria both look at each other, not knowing when Escher would have walked into the room without them seeing him. He's already walking ahead of them. They walk slowly together back into the house. Kamaria, I'll be less stern with them. Well, I'll try. Samson, I'll do the opposite. Maybe then they'd listen to us. As they walk closer to the house and into the house, closing the door, cut to the doghouse with the other dogs sleeping there, watching as the sheep are also sleeping. The end. I know for a fact that doesn't make sense. Oh, that's 5 pages, mind you. Sorry, not 4. 5 pages. It doesn't make sense, but full context, full detail will make sense eventually. The thing is that it's so dense with information in the beginning that when you look back at it one day, you'll understand what I'm talking about. For now, just trust. Just trust, okay? It's like, just trust me. Okay, trust me, bro. What's the source? Trust me. Just trust me. It will make sense eventually. And when it does, it's going to be so good. I don't know how many episodes I want, and I don't know how many chapters I'm going to write, but essentially everything needs to be written out. And if that was episode 1, I'm seeing that it's going to be more than just 10 episodes, but I don't mind if I do enjoy it. But the video is coming to an end slowly because of the fact, but hopefully this made sense. So like everything, I want to do a part 2 so bad because of the fact there's so much more information that I have to show and talk about, but at the same time, I don't want to spoil too many things. Some of the things that I just said right now was a big spoiler to something that could be happening in the future for the series. But yeah, okay, I'm not going to say shit. I'm going to keep quiet and I'm going to let it be. I'm going to play it out. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. as much as I enjoyed writing it. It took me like, what, 3 weeks fully to just write this as much as I have written out right now, which isn't a lot, but it's still a lot. I'm proud of the fact that I've written this much, but yeah. So for now, enjoy this failed concept thing that I'm just gonna dump. It genuinely doesn't go anywhere. This picture of Kamaria or Samson, I can't remember who it was, it just didn't go anywhere, and I was like, well, period, period. Okay, bye guys.